so having tried many of those things, I'm seeing that sometimes the simple, the natural way, which is there's no one selling that, and you need to learn about it through other sources such as Stockman Grass Farmer, Acres USA, and Brinkley Benson's helped me a lot with learning things in this regard, giving me books and directing me where to learn about these things. Cover crops that are good feed and build up your soil. And so there's no salesman selling this because it's not a commercially viable thing. And so it requires some education. But that in effect is what's sustainable, because it's cost effective. It's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. You're providing a forage for your animals and you're building up the soil. And many of these cover crops work without large inputs of fertilizer. And so it's a process of learning, sadly, that is not widely taught. And I could speak to that as far as how the large corporations that have things to sell have kind of controlled the research, and so that's what you end up learning if you don't go to the right sources. And so that's our move towards being organic, and it's all in line with, they kind of go together, sustainable and organic. And you see, it also falls in line with, how do you have healthy animals? You have healthy soil. How do you provide a healthy food? You start with healthy soil. The animal's healthy. If you have healthy soil, the vegetables you grow are healthy. You get those same trace elements then go into your body. And so it's all tied together. And when I first started farming, I was told, well, you'll be more of a grass farmer than you will be a cattle farmer. You'll learn about the cattle, but the grass is always something that you need to know. And I see that it goes further than that. It goes to, you'll be a soil biologist. You'll have to be, because you need to know what's going on under the ground, because that's how the grass grows. And so it's taken a while, but I've gotten to that level. And I suppose that's a lifelong learning process, because getting your soils completely balanced is not an easy thing to do. And once you get it there, then you got to keep it there. So it's not saying, okay, I got there, I can quit now. It's something that you continue to need to know how to look at, study, and work it. And I do some things in fields, like I'll do half the field one way and leave the other half the other way. And you can look right from here and see my bottom field and the neighbor's bottom field. I don't always like to compare myself to my neighbor, but when my field's green and his isn't, and I go, he's been spraying it, he's been putting fertilizer on it, and he doesn't even graze it, and gosh, mine's looking really good. And my neighbor notices it too, because he's, hey, I see you over there spraying that stuff. What is that? And what, you put lime on there? What is that you're doing? And so they're noticing, and I'm noticing. So, and my inputs are a whole lot less than they used to be. And so I'm seeing that it all goes together: the sustainable, the organic, the producing a good end product, a healthy end product. They're all tied together. Our meat goes, we have a website where we sell quarters and halves. We also have family packs, 20-pound and 40-pound family packs. And since all our meat is USDA inspected, we can sell by the pound. So I sell at the Blacksburg Farmers Market, usually starting in the spring, going through November or so, depending on the weather. And we also sell from Mikey 7th, and we sell it by the pound there. And we then added Mikey 7th as a further way of selling beef and pork, and selling it actually cooked. So you don't have to cook it, you just come in and eat. And so that's primarily, we sell occasionally to different restaurants, but not on a large scale. One reason I would give is number one, I don't know that it's just local, but the fact that you can go and see where it's grown. I think it's important, if you have a question, to go and see where it's grown. I've offered, it's standing offer, come out and see. And I used to say, come out, pick out your cow. My wife said, no, people don't want to know the cow that they're going to be eating. I said, okay, well, I would. I mean, you can see that one looks good, doesn't it? That's the one you want. Okay, you're not getting that scrubby one over there. And, but we don't do that. I mean, we would do it. If someone wanted to come pick one, fine, come pick it. I'd love, that would alleviate a whole lot of problems for me. Just pick one out. But it's open to come and look, see. I'll take people on farm tours, show them how we do it, how the herds are split, where we plant things, and you can see what we're giving them. And I think that's what everyone should do. If someone's growing produce, I'd like to go see it. Well, I'd probably buy a whole lot more if they were doing a good job of it, and I knew where it was coming from. And because, again, it goes back to the soil. That plant that's coming out of the soil, whether it's going to be eaten by an animal or goes directly to being eaten by a human, is a product of what is in that soil. And you can grow a beautiful looking tomato, and it doesn't have the nutrients in it. You don't have the trace minerals. You're loading it up with the N, P, and K, and it doesn't have the trace minerals that we all need. So it's not just how a fruit looks, it's the soil that it's grown in that has to do with how it's going to affect you physically. And as I said when I came to class, I said, if you don't become farmers, you need to at least know about what you're buying, because it's about your health. It ultimately is about your health. And the health of our country is in very sad shape. And I believe it's in large part to what we're eating. In 1945, the average consumption of sugar in this country was 10 pounds per person. Now it's 160 pounds per person. And most of that is corn syrup, which is even worse to take in. The wheat that we eat is not the whole wheat berry. Most of it's white bread that has the germ and it has the bran removed. So you're getting all starch. Oh, it's nice and soft. I like that. But it's not, you might as well eat some cardboard. So it's pretty obvious to see that what we've been eating in this country has not helped our health. Diabetes, the instance of autism in children has skyrocketed. All these different health things that were unheard of in the 40s are epidemics now. It's kind of eased on us, and as though we're, if you threw a frog in boiling water, he'd jump out. But if you turn up the heat slowly, you can cook him in the water, and he won't get out. He goes up, and that's what we're doing. It's slowly coming upon us, and we're missing the correlation. It should motivate you, because there are places to get good food and there are ways to eat well. But it's not the way you've been eating. And I thought I ate well my whole life. I found out, no, I was eating better than most people, but I really wasn't eating well either. So it's not easy, though. I spend a lot of time trying to prepare for it. The other thing is getting my kids to eat it now that they've eaten other things. It's hard. I mean, I can give my cows kelp meal. They'll eat it. I try giving my kids kelp meal. Slip it into the scrambled eggs, put it in it. Man, they're like little detectives. Number one, they're like, hey, Dad, what's that? So I have to do it when they're not looking. But then I go, I taste something. The cows aren't like that. They gobble, gobble, gobble. I can give them the good stuff. I can control what they eat. My children, it's a lot harder. And my wife, too. I mean, I'm trying to slip things in on her. So it is hard. It is hard. I've got to make something that's good for them, and it's got to taste like it's bad for them. It's got to taste just like, I make these shakes, it's got to taste just like the milkshake that you get at Dairy Queen, right? That's hard to make something good taste like Dairy Queen. So that's the challenge, and it's one of the things that we